what are some tips that you can give people to help with when it comes to fundraising? If they want to do fundraising, if they want to try to raise money for either their charities or their nonprofits or someone else's, what are some tips you can give?
So one, go get all of the credentials that you can, right? So whether it's at UW or the School of Philanthropy, like learn the business. Like some people think that fundraising is transactional and it's really about relationships, right? So I've learned you have to have relationships with people to get transformational gifts. Two, if you run a nonprofit, you can't do it by yourself. You got to build a strong team around you, a team of volunteers. And if you're fortunate to be to hire people, I didn't have anybody in the beginning. I had a part-time staff person. Now we have almost 200 employees. So we built our business of serving young people in this community at a level where I have over 100 volunteers and committee members that help us do this work. And so I would say helping to build that team. Three, being true to your mission. And when you tell people you're going to do it, you got to do it. Four, you got to be able to tell your story. Somebody once referred to me on social media as a media whore. And I was like, oh, okay. Right. So I'm not afraid to tell the story of Boys and Girls Clubs. I'm not afraid to tell the story of the people that we help. Now, to some people in the public, one of my critics was like, well, you're exploiting people when you tell these stories. We don't put anybody's story out there unless they give us permission to do it. You only see a small fraction of the people that we help. You don't see the other thousands of people that we help because we know some people don't want their stories told. But if you don't tell your story, who's going to give to you? So like over the holidays, people say, well, how do you raise all that money to do that? It's storytelling. You have to tell a story, and people need to see in real time. If I just gave him $1,000, oh my God, I gave him $1,000 an hour ago, and now I see he's paying somebody's rent. Somebody who was a veteran who fought for this country and did this. It's the story behind that made people compelled to want to give. And then the last thing I would say, people got to believe in you. And at the end of the day, you have to live your life. You can't live one way during the day, and then on night you live in another way. This community talks, right? And so your character and your reputation is everything. And so who you see now is who you see all the time. And I don't flip the script for nobody. Now, somebody used to say, well, do you code switch? I don't no more. Now, early in my career, people like, you had to talk a certain way, you had to walk a certain way. Like, no, hell no. I walk the way I walk. And if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. If you like what we're doing, you support it. If you don't, you support somebody else. But I cannot, at this point in my career, put on an act for nobody. And so that would be my advice. Be your authentic self, market and tell your story, build a strong team around you. Even if you don't have a paid team, find a volunteer team, sharpen your skills by getting as many credentials as you can in fundraising so you at least understand the philosophy of fundraising. And then the last thing I would just say is a case study, right? You can't just go to somebody and say, can you give me $100,000 because it's me? No. Understand what the issues are in the community, how the data to back up why somebody should donate to you. But then you also got to have a plan and say, this is how I plan to help eradicate this issue or help to resolve some of these issues in our community. And we have to learn how to do that.
Man.